Hello, hello, hello. How you doing today? I'm doing pretty good, thanks. Today's topic of conversation are those buried utility lines. How do you find them? How do you mark them? How do you keep them identified and not be obtrusive to the utility companies on your land? So anyway, as you can see right there over my shoulder, you can probably start seeing some orange flags and maybe some pink things sticking up out of the ground. We're going to talk about all that right here on this property. Is a good point of conversation to kind of bring this all to light. So just wanted to share this with you so that you can mark your property and improve it and keep in the future you can identify where these utility lines are below grade. So I had, in Wyoming, you can call a company called Line Finders, or 1-800-DIG, I think is what it is, or it's something DIG, 888-DIG or 800-DIG, something like that. But anyway, these folks are hired by the utility companies to come mark your property if you're going to be digging or building or doing whatever. So here is a telephone box. And you can see I've had the line finders out here. They spray painted the ground, put the flags in for me. And here's where it's interesting. So right here where I'm standing, we see a line of flags going up there. And then we see there, we can see a line of flags going through them steel posts. And then on up the hillside there towards that orange trailer. Well, to the left of that orange trailer. More towards in line with the black trailer, the gooseneck of that black trailer. Anyway, we have what we've discovered here is we got the phone line running this way through the posts, and it goes on up to the front of that black trailer. This way was two separate lines of high-speed fiber optic that has nothing to do with my property, but it's a major communication line to the city of Gillette. And so here's what I've done. We got these little things. In the industry of marking utilities, these little things are called whiskers. You got a nail. Got these plastic things that stick up out of the ground. You pound, and they're color coordinated. This is where it's fun. Like, I'm actually kind of having a lot of fun with this, just so I can keep things sorted 5 years down the road or 20 years down the road. You can pound these whiskers into the ground and identify your lines. So I've chosen, and I'm not saying there's any right or wrong answer to this. I'm just telling you what I've chosen. I've chosen hot pink. So we got hot pink there, and we got hot pink over on the left side too. I've chosen hot pink to identify the fiber optics. Then I come back and I chose green. Hi goats. I chose green to do the phone line. And there's other colors too. There's yellow, blue. I don't know how many colors there are for these utility markers that you can buy that we call whiskers. I have no idea how many colors there are that you can buy. I've found 4 so far, but I'm going to identify underground power. I've done the phone line and the high-speed internet fiber optics. And then because these orange flags, they're not going to withstand the test of time of weather, sun, wind. They're eventually going to disintegrate, biodegrade, fall apart. And so somebody in the industry has invented these little whiskers, and I'll show them here again. And there is some assembly required. You got to run that nail through the pilot hole there, but anyway, some genius invented these whiskers, and they're plastic, And you can, you know, if they're in your yard, you can mow them. You know, your lawnmower will cut it to height to the rest of the grass in your yard. You know, I got livestock. We're going to see if they withstand the time of livestock. I know, you know, as grazers and browsers, there's a chance that they may pull them up in the consumption of forage. You can drill seed over the top of them. You know, they're not big enough you can farm, but you know, if you're just drilling seed, your seed drill is going to run right past it and not harm them. Like I said, you can mow it, and they're plastic, so and they're a type of plastic that's going to withstand the elements from Mother Nature. So anyway, we're marking out utility lines today. As you can see, I've had this property marked before, but then I didn't. So here's the problem. I had this property marked before when we did these shelter belts. And yes, I know you can't see the trees today, but there are trees here. And so that's how we knew to bypass this phone line here when we did the shelter belts. But that was 7 years ago now. And guess what? We're getting ready to build fence now because of our livestock enterprise, and we had to find the utilities again. So this is why I bring this to your attention, to maybe help you avoid the second callback for the line finders. Yes, I know they're free, but it is a pain to kind of wait for them and plan out what you need to plan out when you're building or doing construction or whatever. So anyway, here I am, the second go, but I'm gonna get it right this time. So anyway, you can see, man, them green ones, even the green ones, they just really kind of, when you get up on them, they really pop out of the ground. So anyway, I hope this helps you, and whether your property's in town or out in the country, this is something that you could do to add a little value to your property, minimize liability on your sake, and participate with utility companies that have easements on your property. It's just going to make everybody's life a little easier. Here we are in the 21st century, and here's yet another product that's making life quite a bit easier. So if you got any questions, leave a comment down in the comment box, and I'll try to get back to you when I see the notification. I did find, so I was going to mention that too. These things were not so easy to find. I finally found them at Contractor Supply. I'm sure that there's plenty of online stores that sell them, but locally, and I don't know, they probably could have been at one or two of the lumber stores. I know a couple of the lumber stores I stopped at did not have them. The big box stores, I have no idea. If I asked somebody in there, they had no idea what I was talking about. So if they did have them, I was unable to find them. But it was Contractor Supply locally is where I found them in Gillette. So locally, maybe in the smaller towns, I don't know. Or other towns in general, I have no idea where you're going to find them, but you can find them, and if you start asking around, you'll find them. So, and if you need help, just let me know. I'll be more than happy to help you out in that venture of finding them and creating a scheme that fits the utilities on your property. You know, like I said, I did green for the phone line. I did hot pink for the fiber optics, because if I ever hit that one, that'd be the most expensive for me to fix out of pocket. Phone lines don't cost that much. So I decided to go hot pink for the fiber optics. You know, if I did my water line, I might do blue. Power line, I'm going to do yellow. So the power line that's below grade or buried in the ground. So, but you might have you might choose to do something different, so it's just totally up to you. And if there is a color coordinated pattern for utilities, I'm unaware of that at this time. So if you know about that, you could share that with the rest of us. I also did want to point out something, and the importance about marking these utilities. it's easy to assume they're going to be in a straight line when somebody's trenching. It's easy to assume everything's going to be in a straight line. Here's an example that it was not, and I wanted to point this out to you. So we got this here, and it looks like it's going to go straight, and then about that third flag up, bang, it heads off to the right, and it gets off over there. See that? It's going there, and then if we zoom up a little further, it heads back to the left and up the hill, but it gets back in line with these ones down here. So evidently there's rock or some sort of obstruction there that they had to, you know, go out around and then back up the hill. So it's easy to assume that things are going to be in a straight line below ground. Please don't assume that. I've built enough fence and done enough construction in my life and seen enough things that there's no such thing as a straight line trench, because there are obstructions below ground that can make a trencher or trench line go zigzag or look like a snake. So when you're using these plastic whiskers to mark your utility lines, there's no such thing as not using enough. You use as many as you think you need to use, and I say that for one, just to get a clearer scope on where that line's going to be after these flags are removed and the spray paint's gone off the ground. 10 years down the road, you're going to want to have a pretty clear picture on where this was. And two, for those of us that have livestock, I would caution that once in a while you're going to have one of these get pulled out of the ground like a carrot. So there is that. I just wanted to share that with you. And we'll get back over here. So yeah, as I walked up here, you know, you can see it go this way and that way and back up the hill there. So there was something below ground here that caused them to go one direction and then switch and go another. And, you know, it is what it is. So please be aware of that. There's no such thing as using too many whiskers. I actually got to walk back up and gather some more because I didn't bring enough with me this go walking around. But yeah, hope that helps you. And I guess we'll catch you on the next video. And if you got any comments or concerns, like I said, or stories you want to share, you know, leave it in the comments, and we'll go from there. Thanks, and make it a great day.